first, and welcome everybody, and it's lovely to see you, and I hope everyone's okay, doing well. I saw some of you today in the Karma. Well, that was a good class, wasn't it? That was a great. Oh, you there, Mary, as well? I didn't see you. You were. I can see you nodding. Oh, you're all wrapped up. Actually, it was the bird pond was frozen this morning, so we experienced a little bit of your weather here. But it had melted by about 9 o'clock, so maybe not quite so much. All right, so let's just settle into our meditation posture and check your mind. So try and bring your mind to the same place where your body is. And just try and land. If you've been running around today, if you've had a busy day at work, or if you've had lots of communication with different people, just try and bring your mind back. And if your feet are down on the ground, just make sure they're in a parallel position, perhaps with a little cushion underneath. Or if you're sitting in the regular position, have something under your sit bones, and maybe a couple of cushions under each knee. Hands are in the meditation posture, right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. You just want to make sure your pelvic bowl is upright. So it's as if it was full of liquid. It's not spilling out front or back, side to side. And this is for everyone except Lorraine. I understand you're for physical reasons, you're lying in a certain position for your comfort. So just don't worry about what I'm saying here. And then imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. You can imagine someone is above or behind you, very gently lengthening your spine. And you can imagine that your spine is very gently just stretching. The crown of the head is reaching towards the ceiling. Your head is slightly tipped forward. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Relax the jaw. Let's just bring our awareness to the crown of the head. And just relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes. You can take your attention to the back of the eye socket. Just relax all those muscles there in the nose and the cheeks and the area around the mouth. And take your attention to the back of the head, your scalp. Relax the scalp, the back there, down by the occipital bone, the base of the skull. And just notice as you relax those areas, your ears relax, your temples relax, your jaw, and your face yet again. And relax the back of the neck, the shoulders, the upper thoracic in between your shoulder blades, and your throat, your chest, your belly and limbs, hands, fingers, feet and toes. Just bring your mind to the breath. Notice the sensation of the air as it flows in through your nostrils. It's slightly cooler than the air that you exhale. Depending on if you've studied meditation in another tradition, or the shape of your nose, you're going to notice the sensation of that air in different parts of your nose. If there's any sounds in your external environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow them with your mind. And notice the thoughts that are arising. And just allow them to arise and abide and fall. And try not to engage with your thoughts. Follow a story, have an opinion. Just let the thoughts go. Try not to grasp. And then bring the mind back to the breath. And let's bring to mind all the people of our life. The ones we love, who support us, who offer us their strength, who take care of us. Sometimes at their own expense, just because they want to. Then there's those who are well, they're just kind of, maybe we categorize them as enemies, so it's quite a strong word, but there are people in our lives who we have aversion to or we avoid, and then bring to mind the strangers, the people we're indifferent to. Just remember they're all the same in their wish to be happy and not ever really truly finding it. They're just like us. Their wish to avoid suffering, constantly having kind of one problem or another. And this unbelievable capacity for enlightenment. This kind of clear mind, brilliant mind, special mind, has always been there within us. It's really who we are. So bring the mind back to the breath. And we're going to do this practice tonight for all the people in Ukraine, people in Europe who are probably starting to get quite worried by now, for all the people of our life, perhaps for all the aggressors in this current conflict, and for ourselves as we move towards our own enlightenment. So the first of the four opponent powers is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being today, in this life, or in past lives. And you can think of specific actions of your body and your speech. There might be something that sticks in your mind from many years ago. You can still regret it. It's not too late. And the reason to regret is based on the logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. There's nothing that we experience that hasn't been created by us, positive and negative. Having harmed others, we are going to be necessarily experiencing suffering in the future. And given that we understand how painful suffering can be, we want to therefore pull out these karmic seeds. Logically it makes sense, before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. So we also regret any anger, our delusions basically, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of the why we harm others. And so think, I'm really sick of this suffering. So then, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And there's two little sections here, one on refuge and the other on compassion. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're asking Guru Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're wanting to use his methods to heal ourselves, to purify ourselves. So we're relying upon him. So visualize Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and he is your guru manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, and he's sitting in a cross-legged position on a white lotus and a moon disk. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light. That's very important to keep in mind, because sometimes we start to make objects we're visualizing solid, but it's light, like a hologram. So you can imagine that this is the mind of your Lama, your teacher, manifesting in this form for your benefit. He has this radiant and beautiful face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us and for all the sentient beings in our life. And he has this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents a union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. And I didn't say this earlier, but he's wearing this 5-pointed crown on his head, embedded with jewels. And you can imagine he's wearing necklaces and earrings, sort of like a royal prince. And he's wearing jewelry around his waist and his arms and his wrists and ankles. And he's wearing these celestial silken robes in the royal Indian style. And he's got an aura around his head and around his body. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So bring to mind someone in your life who maybe you've harmed, and try and generate compassion for them. This is a wish for them to not suffer. And then someone who's harmed you, it's a little bit more difficult to try and be compassionate towards someone who's harmed you. But the reason we would have compassion is because of the harm that they've caused you. They're going to experience suffering in the future. And so you have compassion for them because of that. So think that we're going to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings. And I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy. And this is the actual medicine, the doing of the practice of purification. And there are 3 stages to this meditation. So we purify the body, the speech, and the mind. And then we also do a little bit extra purification. So first of all, the purification of the body. Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose or from a shower head, from a waterfall. You're standing underneath it. And it's coming quite forcefully from his heart. It arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps coming, pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Subokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Subokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Subokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sidam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. Excuse me. And think there is no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. So the next is a purification of speech. And again, Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body. Except this time, forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of speech. And this overflows. And as I've been saying, it's more than a bit of just overflowing. I think you can imagine as if a hat is being blown off the top of your head. And perhaps you could imagine like a spout from a whale. So it just kind of forces all the negativity out of the top parts of the body. So imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying and talking badly about others behind their backs is all purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And the next is the purification of the mind. And except this time, Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends light, quite powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it is the same as when we walk into a room and we switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness, doesn't it? So in the same way, the minute the light from Guru Vajrasattva's heart hits our heart, the darkness of the negativity of our mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger and jealousy and bitterness and grudges and wishing to harm and misinterpretation and all this kind of junk that we have going on in our mind. None of it, most of it which isn't based on any kind of reality. We just purify all this. And it's also the cause of why we harm others. All these misconceptions we have in our mind. So imagine it all dispelled as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted. All your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think there is no room in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and wisdom, forgiveness, compassion, and bliss. And the next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of body, speech, and mind. And if you like, you can just imagine the previous 3 visualizations of the body, speech, and mind. 2 nectar and 1 light. And you could do a couple of mantras for each one. I do that sometimes. It's quite nice to do. Or if that's too busy, you can just imagine nectar and light just pouring into you. And it fills you completely, and it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepeyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepeyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepeyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepeyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepeyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepeyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepeyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the final step is the power of resolve, and this is a really crucial step in this process. It's a determination to not harm again. Well, it's never going to be again because of who we are. We're just human and we have habits. But we can make a promise, a vow to ourselves to try not to harm, to refrain from harming. So think of something that you've been working on. And first of all, check your progress, rejoice in your progress, rejoice in your efforts. Gives us just a bit of a pat on the back. It encourages us. And then if you want to go a little bit more deeply in the thing that you've been working on, whether it's speech, something simple like accidentally treading on ants, whether it's biting your nails, whatever it is you have this habit, you'd want to try and circumvent it, try and cut it off. So we start small, 30 seconds, 5 seconds, 8 hours while we're sleeping. We just make a determination, I'm going to try and do this. It kind of gives us a bit of courage and a bit of strength to change. So to conclude, Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into light, and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. And then, as Lama Rinpoche recommends, meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level, you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty, not existing from their own side. Or you may think that perhaps things don't exist necessarily the way they appear to me. So we'll just dedicate this practice before we do that little prayer, and dedicate all the merit, the positive energy you've created by doing this purification to all living beings. Thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So I'll just read this. This prayer is called the Vajra speech of Mahasiddha, Tangtong Gyalpo, the words of truth, pacifying the danger of weapons. So it starts Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. Great loving victorious one, Arya sublime, compassionate eye looking one, wrathful victorious, high griever, perfect pure Tara, and so forth, objects of refuge whose holy names eliminate all dangers upon mere hearing, who are compassionate in nature, please pay attention to me. When the sentient beings of the time of quarrelling and of flourishing of the 5 degenerations are tormented by fighting and intense suffering, from the explosion of a great ocean of evil karma and jealousy, please dry this ocean up by the strength of your transcendental wisdom and compassion. Also by letting fall a great nectar rain of loving kindness on the transmigrating beings whose hatred is a blazing fire, please grant your blessings for happiness and auspiciousness to increase by their recognizing each other as being like parents. Through your defeating the multitude of vicious, evil spirits who, by entering someone's mental continuum, change it instantly into the mind of an Asura, from now on may they never roam in this region. Please also cause all the sentient beings who have died in war from now on to abandon all evil karma, the cause and result, and be miraculously reborn in a blissful land. Please also lead all others to that pure land. Please cause all those who are born and die to have long lives and not have sicknesses, to stop all their quarrelling and fighting, and to enjoy life in the 10 virtues. Please make a rainfall at the right time, harvests always to be good, and auspiciousness to increase in all habitats and for all inhabitants, by the ultimate reality which is pure in nature, unbetraying cause and result, which has that ultimate reality, and the compassionate Guru, mind-sealed deity, and rare sublime ones, may my pure and extensive prayers be accomplished. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the 3 jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Sherab, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. And my apologies, everyone. I went over 5 minutes. And welcome, Erin. Nice to see you.
Hello, Venerable. Nice to see you too.
Nice to see you. Okay, everybody. Thank you so very much. Lots of love. I will see some of you tomorrow morning. And do take care and sleep well. Sweet dreams. And as someone said to me the other day, sleep with the angels. Isn't that sweet?
That's lovely.